Storm. Here's Polikseni.
Good morning. I will say right now, fairly quiet out there. Yes, it's definitely going to be wet. Hydroplaning will become an issue depending on where you are, especially if you're traveling on the Pike. Getting a little bit closer to the Prue Tunnel, it tends to be a little bit tricky, but congestion not necessarily going to be a thing. Very, very quiet this morning. Later on this afternoon, I do anticipate that it might start to pick up, but what you see is what you get, especially on the Zagum and the Lever Connector. Looking pretty good there. As you're making your way inside the O'Neill Tunnel, things are moving nicely, and especially too as you're moving away from the city. That's always going to be a little bit quieter, and that's the case right now as well. And I told you on the Pike, if you're traveling in that area, making your way into the city, those left lanes can be a little bit tricky. You do have some pooling there, so naturally hydroplaning could become an issue. But as I mentioned, congestion, not necessarily a thing. Some pockets of traffic here and there. For the most part, though, it's decent.
7 News.
Good morning. As of right now, I do want to kick things off once again on the expressway. This is where we're seeing most of our delays. And by that, I mean it's very, very Friday-like. So mostly between Granite Ave and Columbia Road is where you're going to see the bulk of it. And that's really it. Everything else, smooth sailing at this point. It seems like people don't really want to drive, especially with the weather conditions. That does, of course, have an impact. But yes, as we're getting a look right by Columbia Road, behind it to Freeport Street, this is what it's going to look like. Most of that congestion right here. When you get past all of that, for the most part, still looking pretty good out there, and surrounding areas moving nicely as well. The Pike, very, very nice. Of course, I've been talking about hydroplaning, so an extra couple minutes will definitely help that situation. And also on 95.
It is the biggest day in motorsports with the F1 race in Monaco, the Indy 500, and NASCAR's Coca-Cola 600.
But first, let's talk about the Weenie 500.
Amazing, and it's only in southern Arizona.
He said, round of applause.
Would you like bacon wrapped in a hot dog?
I mean, that sounds really good. I'm a burger person in general, but let's stick to New York. Let's stick to New York.
Well, next on the news station, Northeastern baseball.